Hello!
And welcome to Filthy
Nerds!
Because we're filthy.
And we're nerds.
And there's two of us.
Yep. We're here. We did it. We survived yet
By
another
the way,
day.
that wind just blew your fart into me.
I'm so sorry. Let me turn
No,
this fan
It's
off
okay.
of-
Keep it oscillating. It's great. Every time you fart, I want it.
No, I want it to blow
I want it
directly at you the
spitting
entire
directly.
time.
Thank you so much. Now it was on oscillate. Now it's just.
I mean, if I would have known this, I wouldn't have farted before we started recording. I would have just farted on camera. If
well,
I knew.
It was an anticlimactic fart. It was a silent one.
That's what you think. The climax comes very slowly.
Yeah.
And very horrifically.
Yeah. The silent ones are always, as they say, the deadliest.
Silent deadly.
She did a tilt. I love when people tilt to fart. Those are true farters. People who tilt to fart, those people appreciate a good fart. I don't like it when people fart and they just sit there and like muffle it. No. Let it breathe.
Also, that you think you can muffle it is hilarious. That it's like, yeah, I'm tilting in hopes of spreading my cheeks enough that it'll just out.
Get it
like
all
someone
out.
Who's been railed in the butt a whole bunch.
Really?
I'm surprised your farts ever make noise now that I've said that.
Yeah, no, they just come out like just a breath of hot air. Just a Anyhow, today
we're running our filthy mouths about something.
No. Let me preface this really quick. I walked in. This is our little podcast studio. I walked in. It is Jessica Michelle's birthday coming up at the end of the week, but she decided to give me some presents. That for those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, I'm doing air quotes, presents. She gave me, hold on, a pile of self-help books.
Hey, because they don't have to just be self-help. They can also be friend help.
Or
And
just an insult.
I need to lighten up my very small bookshelf. So I thought, who better to give these books to than a person who openly said that they go to me as a source of wisdom?
Yes. So
Now
here she's taking this job very seriously now.
This is what you get for saying that.
Okay.
I'm
So,
using it against you.
We just want to go off about self-help books because this fucking industry
Ugh.
is going to make everybody crazy before it helps anybody.
Self-help books don't work. If they did, there would only be one self-help book.
Exactly. I don't know why there's 8 million of them. And I love how there's like different sections within self-help. There's love yourself the way you are. There's, 100 ways to change yourself. And then the third section is now you're just crazy and bipolar. Like it just makes you fucking nuts.
Yeah. I don't know. They feed off of, because in theory, they're helpful.
Okay. Here are the things.
But they feed off of people wanting to be better.
Wanting to be happy.
And most people are never happy all the time or constantly want to be better. And also, if you're someone who's chronically depressed and you're like, if I just get through one more of these books, I'll have the answer. Yes, they feed at our endless search for happiness.
And they prey on our fears. Because our fears is that we're not enough.
Yeah.
And let me just go through some of these book titles, okay? You Can Heal Your Life.
Thank you, Lisa Sunstedt, for passing that on to me. Actually, I think I have to give it back to her. So
Louisa L. Hay.
Don't ruin it. It's like
I'm going to come all over these pages.
Louise L. Hay is a known self-help person.
So you can heal your life. So what she's saying is your life needs healing. Your life's not good. Whatever way your life is, let's fix it.
Yeah.
Why?
Like that book title also, but it's like.
So someone who's just depressed goes to the self-help section looking for something to help them not be so depressed. And they see a book that's like, you know what? You should heal your entire fucking life. That's the problem. Not just, that you're depressed and sad and you don't know what's going on. Your whole fucking life needs healing.
If I could interject really quickly.
Yes.
If you're feeling depressed, I don't think going to the bookstore is the way to handle it. Unless books are your happy place. And then I would maybe stay out of the self-help section.
I would just go to a drug dealer and get mushrooms.
I once downloaded an audiobook of a self-help book called The Self-Love Project. And I listen to my audiobooks at 2 times the speed. Because that's how my brain likes to consume.
Yes, I like doing that too.
And I was listening to it and I was like, this is great. I'm motivated. This woman was just so high energy. And she's like, you can do it. Here's how it helped me. And then I changed it to regular. And this was like more than halfway through the book. And I was like, just out of curiosity, I realized, I don't know what she actually sounds like. Because I started following her on Instagram. I turned it to regular and I was like, have I been getting self-love advice from a woman who is on barbiturates? And I think And I think had a piece of candy in her mouth while she was recording.
Oh, just a butterscotch
Just like a butterscotch corner mouth. Yeah, just like. And I was like, this is who I've been getting advice
from. You're like,
from.
Nicole's dead grandma is giving me advice?
Yeah. Oh, have you read that book, Girl, Wash Your Face?
No.
That woman is insufferable.
But you know what? Beyonce once said if she were going to give girls any advice, it's wash your face before you go to bed. So I don't know why there's a whole book on it when Beyonce just quoted it once and that was it. And I was sold.
This was written by a woman whose relationship situation, the first guy she dated, she ended up marrying, and he was a very successful like Disney exec. And she's in there like, if you haven't found the right one, it's like, fuck you.
Fuck you, bitch.
I read recently that this woman, I'm not trying to say her name, I just don't fucking remember who it is, Rachel something. Her and her husband were doing these like happy relationship, strengthen your marriage seminars that thousands and thousands of people are coming to. And by the way, to come, it was like over $1,000.
Please tell me they got divorced.
They're getting divorced.
Yes! Yes!
You fraudulent fucks.
You fucking assholes.
So just think of that woman next time you get head over heels for a self-help person.
Self-help anything.
We don't need to go through every
No. I just want to read one of the chapter headings. It's how to change. Just so I could emphasize what I said earlier. Next book, Quantum Healing, Exploring the Frontiers of Mind-Body Medicine. It's Deepak Chopra.
It's very good. It teaches you about changing the patterns in your brain.
Teachings on Love.
Thich Nhat Hanh. That's not a self-help book. That's more of a... That's a little.
If you can barely pronounce their name, they know what they're talking about.
I think that's true. I think trust the people with foreign names. Don't get a self-help book from a man named
Americans
John Smith.
don't know about happiness. People in Southeast Asia know about happiness.
Never eat alone.
Never eat alone.
Actually, that one you don't need. You can afford to eat by yourself. For God's sake, leave me alone. Quit dragging me to Thai
I want to
food.
eat alone too. I'd love dragging her to Thai
I will
food.
say it's Keith Ferrazzi, which...
Now, is that a diet book or a self-help book?
I honestly don't know. Another comedian who stayed in my room years ago, we did a room swap, Kate Willett, left it and said I could have it. And I don't know if it's self-help, like it's a suggestion. But she said it's great.
Oh. She's like, use that. I've never eaten alone since.
Wow, it has highlighting in it and
By
a
the
card.
way, who's sitting at home like, all I do is eat alone? Next book up, How to Be Depressed, a guide. Hey, this one is like an Urban Outfitters style coffee table book. Lots of like cute print.
This is actually a satire. This is written by a very funny comedian,
it's a
Dana
satire.
Eagle.
Oh.
So that one I just
It's
thought
a
you would
joke.
enjoy.
Do you have your shrink on speed dial? Back of the book. Do you have poetry? Does your poetry have tear stains on it? I can't read.
When people say they're happy, do you think they just have low standards?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
I knew you would like that book.
For sure have low standards. That book I'm going to save for last. Next one. In the meantime, Finding Yourself and the Love You Want.
By Avanki Bamblamla. You know it's good.
foreign name. The Artist's Way. I don't know if you're trying to help me or telling me I'm a bad comedian.
No, I'm just saying you could be a little more creative.
And she also gave me the workbook for it.
So you're
she's
welcome.
like, do the goddamn work, bitch. Own the Day, Own Your Life.
Hey, this is by Aubrey Marcus, and it's signed.
Is that a fitness book?
No, I mean...
She looks so fit. She should not have put herself looking fit on... it's a man looking fit on the cover.
No, there is on the back.
Oh.
It's about being fit, but it's also about self-care.
Having a fit mind.
And that one I thought maybe you just to brush up.
And then Judaism for Dummies. She's like, you're a bad Jew, says the half Jew. Oh, and the final one, she's like, this one's really important.
Okay, you guys.
It's called Attached. The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love.
If you've listened to any prior episode, especially recently, I don't think anyone would disagree that that's a good book for you.
Okay. Well,
Attachment styles are a big deal. And I think it's, I don't know, I think more people could afford to learn about. But I don't know. I have a mixed relationship with the self-help industry.
You have read more actually, no, Dana Moon has probably read.
Our friend Dana Moon has
read the most self-help books of anyone I've ever met. And Dana, honestly...
You guys heard her on my other podcast?
I think she's still on first base as far as self-help goes.
She's clinging for her sanity too, like the rest of us.
Yeah, she is white-knuckling it through a day.
Ignorance is blessed to hear her, by the way, on a recent interview talking about being single in quarantine, and that's where we both were losing our shit. But yeah, no, that's the thing, is that you can get addicted to trying to self-help. You know what I mean? And like, they cash in on that. There's people who make authors of these books their gods.
Yeah.
You know, Tony fucking, what's his name?
Tony Robbins.
Robbins
Is a god. Have you heard about Landmark Forum?
No.
It's like a self-help, like not a self-help. It's like a self-empowerment seminar. I don't know what it is. So many people I know who've gone to it have been like, you'll really benefit from this. It's really great. I'm like, well, what do they do there? They're like, it just helps you be better. I'm like, could you tell me more? Because it's a couple $1,000s to do it. I'm like,
Sounds like a cult.
It does sound like a cult.
I'm not paying something that I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $10 for something.
Pitch it to me.
Seriously.
You can't just tell me it's going to help me in life and that's going to be enough.
I had a friend who in the past...
I had a person.
I had to think about it because we're not friends anymore. Not because of the situation, but it was a telling red flag.
Okay.
Who once, as a gift to all of her friends, bought tickets for us to go and save this date, tickets to go to this man who tells women how to get a partner. And he's like very popular.
Guidance.
Oh, this is how to be better. Oh, how you can find your love. And literally everyone's like, I can't make it. And one friend had the courage to go, this is a little insulting.
Yeah. Very insulting.
And she's like, why? And it's like, yeah, just because I'm single doesn't mean I'm fucking like, well, how do I meet someone?
That's one of the things that annoys me.
But also the audacity of a man. It's like, oh, well, what is your opinion of how a woman should be to attract a mate? Fuck you.
He's like, you need to change the way you dress.
Stop
you need
being
to
a
change
fat
the way
slob.
you speak.
Yeah.
Don't be too much. Oh, I love when guys are like, you're too much. Oh, I'm too much. Oh, sorry, I have standards and I want things. That makes me too much. I said something about that on Twitter recently, and so many guys wrote back. They're like, have fun being a cat lady. Like,
I would rather die in a pile of cats than have to suffocate who I am for the comfort of a fucking oaf of a man who's probably going to let me down anyway.
Or physically suffocate you.
Yeah. It's always the fucking grossest people who are like, you should be better.
It's guys who have fucking avatars. They have avatars not of their faces because they would never do anything personally.
Or like a weird comic book character. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what? No one cares.
By the way,
about
unless
your opinion.
if you're anonymous on Twitter, like you don't have a picture, you don't have a name, you don't have a website, you don't have a bio, something, and you're just shooting insults, you're
a coward.
You're a coward. You're just a fucking coward.
Also,
like, have the balls to be insulting and own who you are.
Yeah, it's also just, what are you doing? That can't be fun. What's the worst part about internet trolls is imagining this person sitting there getting in an argument with like a real person while they're an egg, or just even if they're not an egg, and just being like, oh man, I'm so funny. And it's like, no.
Well, I wish I had that fucking person's confidence.
Ugh.
That is a level of confidence that is just astounding to me. There are so many trolls who just honestly think they have all the answers.
Oh, it's so
really
unbearable.
And truly. Like, their confidence on Twitter is wild.
Yeah, I love, by the way, that just everyone's an expert.
Everyone's an expert.
Fuck you. Unless you are a registered expert of the one subject we're talking about, and even then, there's no such thing as a fucking expert.
Yeah.
There's someone who knows a lot more than other people because they've put all of their time into that one thing.
Yeah. Also, registered expert. Unless you have a fucking PhD in a topic and you have over 10,000 hours clocked on that topic.
And that's what I meant by registered expert, because I don't know what the fuck that means.
I want to emphasize exactly what a registered expert means to me. Unless you're those things, which you're probably not, because if you were, you wouldn't be on Twitter fucking harassing people. You wouldn't have time to, because you'd be out there
learning and being more of an expert in your field.
So experts aren't on Twitter trolling people. So just shut the fuck up.
I love how we went from self-help books to we're now screaming about trolls.
Yeah. I mean, it all comes down to trolls. Listen, this is our form of self-help. We're helping the trolls. If you have troll tendencies, should we write a self-help book for trolls?
Maybe. This is what I was going to say, is that I have mixed emotions about self-help books, because half the time it's like, come on, this is fucking stupid. But then I read one and I'm like, oh, wow, that's good. That's a good point.
But don't you feel like they're reiterating things you already know in your head?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of them, yes, that's what I was going to say, are comfort blankets for you to go, oh, well, I already had that thought. I guess I'm on the right path.
Oh, so you think it's just something to like kind of reinforce that you're okay?
Not all of them. But I think a lot of what many of them do, especially if you're someone who gets in the habit of reading multiple self-help books, they have to be repetitive.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, you're just going, I thought that, and now this book that is allegedly from the someone who knows their shit is validating this thing I already
So
thought.
it's like positive reinforcement.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily bad. I have, for a long time, been considering, should I write a self-help book, but aimed at people who think self-help books are pieces of shit? Like,
yeah, you should write that. I remember when I read You Are a Badass. I can't remember.
You're a badass. There's You Are a Badass. You're a badass at making money. There's a whole, she's got a whole franchise. If you hit it right, you can start covering all the bases.
Yeah, she covered all the motherfucking bases. But I remember I listened to her book on tape, and I also had the physical copy because I like to read self-help. If I read a self-help book without the person who wrote it narrating it, then I just read it in my own sarcastic voice.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh yeah, you just don't let the people in your life judge you.
That's not your
voice.
voice.
The voice.
Whoa, back up. Whose voice is that? Where does that voice come from?
Whose voice was that?
Because that is what a therapist will tell you, is that voice, it's criticizing you, not your voice, it's someone from your childhood, and that's how you view the world. Anyway,
but I'm reading it in a warped voice. I'm reading it in a voice that's not accepting what the words say.
Yeah, you're reading it in the judgmental voice that you're trying to get rid of, which is the reason you fucking got a self-help book to begin with.
So if I do the book on tape, and I also have the words there in front of me because I'm a visual learner, if I have it like that, then I'm hearing it in the author's sincere voice where they, they're fully getting behind what they're saying because they wrote it.
Yeah.
It just reinforces. That's the way I think self-help books should be consumed.
Yeah.
And
well, because there always ends up being something in there where, some sort of assignment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would do just auditory.
Yeah.
But that's why with Attached,
Yeah.
the reason I even have that book is because I listened to it and I was scribbling on paper. And I was like, you know what? This is so good. I may want to come back to it. I may want to share it with someone.
So you got the book.
So I bought the book thinking I may end up just sharing it with someone who I thought was interested
And you did.
in the concept. I mean, we brought up, I don't know if we did it on the podcast. It may have just been in the live reads, which by the way, if you want to take part in our live reads, patreon.com/twofilthynerds. We've been doing a ton this week for the birthday week. And
then we do live viewings of the movies at the end of each book. It's super fun.
Lots of fun. It's so much fun. We started talking about love languages, and you have this concept called fight languages.
Yeah.
And it's not even close to the same thing, but attachment styles, I kind of think I was very interested when I learned about love languages. That spoke to me, and I was like, it really opened my eyes to a lot of.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing. If you guys aren't familiar with the 5 love languages, look into it because it can really teach you how better to communicate and how to live with people you love
and also accepting people the way they are, because the way you love might not be the way someone else loves, and that's okay.
Yeah. But
you
it's like
just need to understand it.
Learn what they're expressing or what makes them feel loved, et cetera, et cetera. So having heard you speak on that, I thought, you know what she may really enjoy learning about is attachment styles.
Okay, well, I'm going to crack into this, and then maybe we'll circle back and have a review of it at some point, and I'll tell you what I've learned, and I'll tell you what my attachment style is. Am I going to find that out in there? What my attachment style is?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
And also, if it's mine, you're going to be infuriated.
Really?
But
it will probably be yours.
Here nor there.
Because
it is one of those things where like that cracks open the beginning of then going, all right, now I know this. Where do I go from here?
Yeah.
But, a book can only have so many pages.
Yeah.
So anyway, what should I call my self-help book? Right now I'm thinking self-help for people that think self-help is for pussies.
How about Help Self?
Help your damn self.
Helpself.com. Just put the URL in the book title.
Betterhelp.com/JMS.
Yes. Just a really terrible name for a book.
Help! All right. Anything else? Anything you want to add about the self-help industry? What are your thoughts?
It's just,
do you have a favorite book, by the way?
You Are a Badass, I think. That was the first self-help book I've ever read where I'm like, it's not, she also kind of like makes fun of the woo-woo-y self-help books. It's woo-woo-y, but not in a super like out there woo-woo-y way. It's very practical. And it's also, she was able to pull from her life and say, this is where I was before I developed this philosophy, and this is where I am now. And it just felt very actionable.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was down in the dumps. I was living in the street. And it's just like, she's like, I wasn't living my life to the fullest. And now I am. And it just seemed like a practical leap. Like, I'm not looking to completely evolve into another creature. Yeah. You know, it's like, it's just one of those things where it's like, she gives you actionable things that you can implement into your life, where it felt like, okay, this is realistic. This much I can do.
Okay. And did you do any of it?
Yes. I think one of the big things I took away from it is there will be people in your life when you start to break through and do better and be better will try to pull you back down because they're not comfortable with you being better.
Yeah, they
need you to be not.
They like the small version of you.
Yeah. And that for me was like, I was able to be like, oh, okay, there are people like that in my life. Identify who they are. Not necessarily like get rid of them, but just identify who they are and be like, okay, you know what? Your opinion doesn't matter as much to me anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, no one's opinion should really matter to you.
Yeah.
Other than your own.
But like, I mean, like I said, I'm not about to make a fucking miracle of a change. I'm still going to fucking care about people's opinions. I'm codependent and in a 12-step program for it.
Have you read Codependent No More?
Yes, I have. I took the book from my roommate, Cody. Thanks, Cody Heller.
Codependent.
Cody, if you're wondering where your book is, I still have it. I'm reading it, very slowly. One page a month. Yeah, for sure. She wanted to go to a codependent program, but she
didn't have anyone to go with. So.
There you go.
We are thinking about starting the Artist Way. I don't know about you. So
let's do the Artist Way.
If anyone's genuinely interested in getting a group together, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I've already done it 2 times, well, 1.5 times. But I'm willing to start it again and go full throttle. Anyway,
I guess that's it. I guess we can get into the episode.
Yeah, let's get into the episode. Let's Harry Potter it up.
All right. Look forward to our self-help episodes. Find us on Patreon. And now, time for Potter.
Bye.